So in this video, we're going to look at how Sysero integrates with the new iManage Work 10 client. So one of the ways that you can use Sysero is as a template management solution, and you can install this add-in inside of Word, where you can actually access your templates in a number of ways. This is what we call the list function, and you can design your own lists so people can curate their own lists, and you can have simple things in here like letters and statements, but also more complex automations. In Sysero, you can automate pretty much anything, so things like employment contracts. But here we're just going to go ahead and we're going to create a letter template. So before we actually create the template, we wanted to decide where this is going to be stored in iManage. So we bring up the iManage folder browser. So this folder browser represents you as a user. So it shows your matters, your clients, your favorites, etc., just as you would get inside of the native iManage client, but from here directly inside of our client inside of Word. So I'm going to select the folder where this document is going to go. And I'm going to go ahead and create this document, and I'm just going to call it Contracts for Phil. I'm going to select an office in here, and this will be used as part of the automation. Sysero can also integrate in with other third-party applications. So, for instance, we might have a CRM system and go and get information from inside of that system. Before we go ahead and actually create this, we can actually preview the document using our online previewer, where you'll see data that's not being used from the template will be highlighted in red, and anything that's been added will be shown in green. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a quick change to that, and we'll say it's a new client letter, and we'll put in a client reference of 1234, and go ahead and preview it. And now you'll see the preview has been created, and this information is shown in green. Now that obviously is purely just for the point of view of being able to see what's actually going to happen. From a server-side point of view, we're going to create the documents by merging the template with the data. And you'll see that unlike traditional template management systems, there is nothing happening on the client. Everything is done on the server. So the document has been created. It's stored in iManage here. You can see the iManage number up here. And we can also see we've put in a footer here with the number and the version number on there as well. So you can use lists and create lists to actually go ahead and access templates, but you can also do it using our browse function, where if you've got a formal taxonomy, for instance, if you're a law firm, you might have a taxonomy based around the practices that you have and the types of work that you do. You can also search the database as well. So you can search for templates. And in fact, inside of Sysero, you can store standard Word documents, automated templates, pretty much any file that you like. And you can search and you can filter using any amount of metadata. Sysero has unlimited amounts of metadata, and design your own search results form that meets your particular requirements. I'm going to go ahead and close this, and I'm going to recreate this. I'm going to create the document using the Work 10 client. So using Work 10, you can actually go to a specific folder, and if you select that folder and then click on the option here, you can have a number of Sysero add-ins. You'll notice this is inside the iManage Cloud, and it works on cloud or on-prem. And I'm going to select the same list that I just created, just used inside of Word, and I'm going to create the letter. So you've dropped in the details automatically here. I haven't had to do a browse. It's basically picked up the workspace and the folders. And this is a completely resizable interface. So if I wanted to use this on something like an iPhone, it would appear like that. If I wanted to use it on an iPad, it would appear probably like this. But obviously on a PC, it's going to take up whatever screen size you like. So it's a completely responsive interface. Instead of filling this information in, I'm actually going to go ahead and select the previous information that I had before, and that's added into the form. And I'm going to just update the client reference because I'm going to create an almost identical document here. Now, you can configure the system in a number of ways, but this has been configured to create a new version of any document that has the same name in the same folder. And it's going to open it up in whatever my default editor is for documents, for Word documents. So you can see here that the document has been updated to version 2, as has indeed the footer. So you can create documents without actually having any software installed, and you don't even need to have a PC. So as well as being able to automate documents, Sysero also has a workflow functionality where you can go in here. I can select this folder. Let's just close this document down. You'll see the document is locked because you'd expect it to be. So if I just quickly release that, the document now becomes unlocked, and I can actually do things like send this on a Sysero workflow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this on a workflow that I have designed, just a simple acceptance workflow. So I'm basically sending this for approval. And you'll see certain information is passed over from iManage. So in this case, it's the author and the document type are the author and the document type from inside of our iManage profile, as is the document name. And I'm going to send this to approval to myself. So I'm going to select myself from the list here and click on send for approval. When I do that, this particular workflow is going to take me through to a dashboard, and dashboards are useful for seeing where things are in our workflow, what stage they are in the workflow. We can also have reports in our workflow, and we can have graphics in our workflow as well. We'll also update the profile inside of iManage using the iManage custom fields. So in iManage, you can have a number of custom fields here, and you can actually check this document has been sent for approval, and that can obviously be useful just to tell you what's happening with a particular document. I'm going to open up the email that's been sent to me as the approver, and I'm going to click on this link, which will take me back to the profile, and I can decide what I want to do. And I've given myself a number of options here: approve, reject, forward, etc. These are just sort of options that I came up with. So in this case, I'm actually going to send it for approval. And when I approve it, it's just simply going to send me an approval email. And it's also going to update the iManage profile. So if I go back to our iManage profile and refresh that, you'll see that the custom 16 field here has been set to approve, and an email has been sent to me as the person to just tell me that it has been approved. So inside of Sysero, you can actually use Sysero to for things like basic template management. You can use it for workflows, and you can monitor what's going on, both inside our own dashboards and inside of iManage itself. You can also use it to create custom forms as part of your designing process. You're going to actually need to create the custom form. So because I'm an administrator, I can go straight over from the form itself to the design side here. I can pick any particular field, and I can start to go in and edit the fields, create new fields, and I can set things like whether or not it's a compulsory field or it's the width of the field, and design this with lots of different options, which I won't go through in this particular demo. So when I'm designing the form, I also can use this information inside of the template itself. So the template itself is held inside of Word, and any information that is stored in the form can be used inside of the Word document. So you'll see when I open up the Word document, I have a fields menu here, and these are all the fields that we have available to us inside the form. So if I add something in the form, it will be added to the fields inside of Word. If I add a field inside of Word, it will be added to the form, and I can, as you can see, I can use these fields here, these options here, to move the fields up and down as required. So using Sysero, I can not only automate the documents, and these documents can be as simple or as advanced as I like, but I can also automate workflows. So as part of this process, I can go into my workflow designer, and we have this low-code workflow designer that allows us to actually build workflows where you can have simple decisions, you can have feedback loops, you can send emails, you can set up alerts, and to use it, you just simply drag and drop from this panel here onto the canvas, and I can go ahead and delete these paths and create my own paths and build my own workflow simply by dragging and dropping and moving these things around. And using this system, I can pretty much design any workflow that I like using Sysero, for anything from complex, from simple things like creating and improving a letter, right through to complex know your clients and compliance type applications. So Sysero allows us to use the low-code workflow tool, because there is code that you can add to it if necessary. You can do a no-code workflow as well, which is what we just saw. We've got our document assembly, and in fact, it's a complete automation platform. And this platform fully integrates with iManage Work 10, both in the cloud and on-premise. It's actually even used by iManage themselves to manage the workflows that they use to implement iManage in their case, thousands of law firms, but in our case, dozens of law firms. My name is Phil Ayton, and if you're interested in this, please go and visit Sysero.com or send me an email directly. Thank you very much.